Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome back to more 428 Shibuya Scramble. My name is Raven from the Sky, and let's do this. The TV news continued to report on how Mamoru Tanaka had been killed in the minivan explosion. What? What does this mean? Chaiki blinked in confusion. I mean, Hannah told us herself that the van explosion was her father committing suicide. Didn't she? The only explanation I can think of, Minokawa replied, is that Hannah was lying. He scratched his head as he considered the situation. But why? Chaiki asked. Ozu let out a snort. Well, it would seem Mr. Toyama had her lie in order to deceive us. Ah. What an upstanding individual, using his own daughter to buy himself some time. Minoru wanted to yell at the guy, but he managed to hold his tongue. The important thing was that Toyama was still alive. And if he was still alive, then there was still a way to save Heaven Publishing. Yep. They'd get the current issue out on time with a big scoop waiting in the wings for the issue after that. From there on out, it should be smooth sailing. Well, no matter, Ozu said, saying as Mr. Toyama isn't dead after all, we'll just wait here for him. He sat back down on the sofa. But Sagawa leaned threateningly toward Chaiki. Hey, he snarled. You sure you don't know where the guy's hiding out? I don't, Chaiki shot back. And even if I did, I'd never tell you. Say what now? He leaned in even closer just as she stood on her tippy toes in defiance, and their foreheads collided with a dull thud. Both reeled back, clutching their heads in their hands. Just calm down, Chaiki, Minoru said as he began rooting through Toyama's desk. For now, I'm going to look for clues to where Toyama might have gone. You just focus on working on your article. Oh, Ozu raised an eyebrow. Getting all cooperative all of a sudden, I see. I want to change up the plan for next month's issue, and I can't do that without the editor-in-chief's approval. What Minoru was actually looking for, however, was a back issue of 4-Star General Gossip. He was pretty sure the article on Osawa had been printed in the magazine's inaugural issue. If he could find that scandalous piece that the scientist had asked for, he'd also be able to get his big lead about the power balance of the world being at stake. And if he could get that, not only would next month's issue be a sure thing, it was a good bet that sales figures would go through the roof. He found a file folder of early material and quickly flipped through it. It didn't take him long to find the article. Floundering Okashi Pharmaceutical arranges marriage of political convenience. The large headline practically jumped off of the page. Minoru quickly read over the story. The basic gist of it was this. The corporate director of Okashi Pharmaceutical has sacrificed his daughter in order to keep a researcher named Kenji Osawa on board. The daughter, however, had previously been dating another man. It must be what Osawa wanted him to look into. The guy his wife had been dating before they were married. It should be easy enough to just ask whoever had written the article. Okara's gaze jumped to the end of the piece, looking for the writing credits. The piece had been written by Toyama himself. "Hey, ain't you done yet?" Sagawa yelled. "Tell us where Toyama is already." "Yeah," Minokara thought, we're going to need to do something about these guys. "I'm still looking into it," he said. "Just hold on." He made a show of opening and closing various desk drawers. The drawers themselves were packed with jumbled mess of electrical and gas bills, noodle house delivery menus, and the like. "Look faster," Sagawa growled. For now, Minokara decided he better butter this guy up. Maybe he could mollify this guy by having some noodles delivered for dinner. Something tells me B wouldn't work. Why would you want to? Because if you think, oh, they're too busy eating to care, we can slip out. No, they just stop eating or take the food with them and follow us. I'm gonna go with A. Whoops, keep hitting the wrong button. For now, Minokara decided he better butter this guy up. "Say, you look like a pretty tough guy. You work out?" Sagawa grinned, thrusting his fist out in an emphatic air punch. "I used to be a boxer." People call him the dog fighter of Shibuya. "Could drop a guy like you in one punch. Oh ho! Guess there aren't many folks who can give you a good fight then." Sagawa dropped into a fighting pose and threw a few quick jabs. Well, matter of fact, I'm unbeatable in a street fight. They call me the crazy tiger of Shibuya. Shibuya, huh? You familiar with SOS then? Sagawa's face twisted into a sneer. "What? Those guys? I mean, I've heard they're pretty tough too." Only one of them who'd be able to give me a fight would probably be that Aichi Endo. Except, as I hear, he's left the game. Aha, really now? Heard anything else interesting? Sounds like nowadays they're being run by some guy named Susumu. The name Susumu rung a bell. Those two young punks who'd been arguing after the van explosion had mentioned him. Seems like SOS is in a pretty rough state since Aichi left though, Sagawa added. Minokara didn't miss a beat. "What do you mean rough state?" "Back in the day, they were all goody two-shoes, never shake folks down or steal any of that stuff. Guess their founder Aichi hated that sort of thing. But now that he's out, a lot of rough and tumble, hot-blooded types have been signing up with him. Smart move is to not get involved with SOS nowadays, really. Hard to find a scarier bunch around here when there's a lot of them together." And the main hangout is that Inferno, yeah? Yeah, over in Yura Harajuku. Known as Urahara for short. The area east of Japan Rail, Harajuku Station, around where Takeshita Dori meets Meiji Dori. There are many small clothing and accessory stores here. Set up in renovated houses, most of these shops are on the cutting edge of youth fashion, the Harajuku district. Remember Nicki Minaj would call everybody the Harajuku Barbies? Back in the day, y'all remember that? That's what that was from. For those of you who don't know and don't know have a clue what Harajuku means. Offering quirky and unique means of personal expression. I think there's a documentary on the Harajuku district on YouTube floating around somewhere. Man, you've been listening out on the streets. What gives? Harajuku, huh? Minokawa smiled to himself. Inferno's location had practically fallen into his lap. Suddenly, Sagawa's eyes went wide. Aha! So that's where Toyama is. Wait, nah, no way. A coward like him would go to a place like that. Her head. Chaiki looked up from her keyboard. Look, can you please shut up? No, you shut up. That's my phone. Minokawa pulled his cell out of his pocket. It was Toyama's name on the incoming call screen. Minokawa's heart skipped a beat. Toyama, where are you? He blurted out as he picked up. Chaiki, Ozu, and Sagawa turned to look at him as one. Well, what were you thinking, faking your death like that? Even if we could fill those pages and postpone repayment, all it would do is delay the inevitable. I'd still be up to my ears in debt. So I thought if I made it look like I was dead. Minokawa let out an exasperated sigh. Well, everyone already knows you're still alive. So your little attempt at subterfuge didn't even wind up buying you time. What? Toyama's hysterical squeak was painful to hear. Alright, listen up, Minokawa said. If it's the debt you're worried about, you'll be able to pay that back real soon. What do you mean? I've landed a huge scoop. You could do a print run of 1 million copies and still sell out if we can run it as an article. Toyama perked right up. Wait, you really mean it? I'll give you all the details. Just get your butt back here. But aren't those loan sharks there at the office right now? Fine, then I'll come to you. Tell me where you are. Two thugs crowded near, a predatory gleam in their eyes. I know they're trying to hear the call. And Minokawa had a flash of inspiration. Got it, he said, quickly before Toyama could respond. Miyashita Park. I see what he's doing. I'm on my way now. Don't go anywhere. Ozu and Sagawa grinned at one another, then bolted out the door. Hey, Minokawa said as their footsteps receded. Those guys took the bait. I sent them to Miyashita Park. He allowed himself a cocksure grin. Right then. So where are you really, Toyama? You imbecile. I am at... What? I am at Miyashita Park. Right? What the... Minokawa fought the urge to pull his hair out. How could you... The odds of you guessing right. What the hell are you doing someplace like that? Why the heck did you tell them Miyashita Park? Because I thought it would be right. I thought it would be a clever ruse. I didn't think you would actually be there. What are the odds you do that to somebody, right? Well, it wasn't. This is no time to be fighting, Chaiki butted in. Yeah, you're right, Minokawa Scout. Anyway, Toyama, those guys are headed your way. We need you to get out of there and go someplace we can talk. I can meet you there. Right, okay. They needed someplace safe and public where they could speak freely. Someplace where the staff wouldn't be overly nosy. But where? Minokawa thought, oh, here we go. The familiar cafe. No, but it'd be nosy. It'd be noisy. People would be nosy. The familiar cafe, the station was, no, recalling the noodle house from the menu he'd seen earlier. Noodle house. Nothing suitable came to mind. Probably Toyama should decide. Huh. Alright, let's go to the noodle house. Dogen Hut, huh? Toyama rumbled the words under his breath. What's the matter? There's some problem with that? Oh, no. Alright, I'll meet you there. It's over in Dogen Zaka. The address is on the menu. He hung up and Minokawa quickly gathered his belongings. Chaiki, how's that copy coming along? Well, almost done. Just a little more, I think. Alright, bring your computer and come with me. I'll read over what you've got so far. Minokawa waited as Chaiki got ready to head to the cafe. As the two were heading out of the office, however, someone else opened the door. You've got 14 minutes and 57 seconds left to send to press. The writer submits to the editor that 56, 55. Who the heck is this guy? A slender man with a gaudy necktie entered the room and sat down on the nearest desk, staring fixedly at his pocket watch. Minokawa narrowed his eyes dubiously. Who the heck are you? Always make sure to show up 15 minutes ahead of the appointed time. That's just common decency. The man gave no indication he'd even heard Minokawa's question. I suppose I can wait here, he continued, just for another 14 minutes and 20 seconds. Mr. Mino? Is this guy talking about our submission? Chaiki stared doubtfully at the newcomer. Hey, you, Minokawa asked. Are you from the printer? But the man did not reply. Don't ignore me. Are you from the printer? Still, the man remained silent. Milk. There he goes with that pointing. Minokawa was furious. Look, cut the crap, he roared. In response, the man quietly reached into his suit pocket and pulled out his business card. My name is not Hey You. He handed the card to Minokawa. It read, Cho Nippon Printing Co., Ltd., Sales Department Division Number 1, Koichiro Katayama. I am Koichiro Katayama, newly assigned to Heaven Publishing. Oh, why didn't he just say that instead of sitting there not saying anything? A pleasure to meet you. My predecessor is in the hospital due to a car accident. Saichi Usui, 39 years old, single, a longtime veteran at Shonen Printing. Rather timid by nature, the strain of dealing with publishers makes him sick to his stomach. At around 1:10 p.m. earlier today, while driving to meet with one of his clients, he had to swerve to avoid a young man and a woman who darted into the street. He crashed into the car next to him and ended up in, wow. That's when Aichi and Hitomi was being chased. That time. By that guy with the cane. So, wow. Everything is in tandem here. You should make a complete recovery in about 2 months. Well, what are you doing here, Katayama? Mirokawa asked. I thought we had until 8 o'clock to complete the proofreading. "8 o'clock? Surely you must be joking. Our company's proofing deadline is 5:30. Katayama stared fixedly back at Mirokawa. Now that had to be a joke. I heard from the editor-in-chief that it was 8 o'clock. I take that to mean then that you don't have any copy for us. It's not that we don't have it, Mirokawa said. It's just that it's not finished yet. Just hold on until 8. Katayama raised an eyebrow. No. Publisher and printer need to work in concert. Perhaps my predecessor was the sort to delay the proofing deadline owing to your circumstances here. But now I'm in charge, and I do not make exceptions. The proofing deadline is 5:30, sharp. And I intend to keep it that way. And while we've been having this discussion, you're down to 12 minutes and 32 seconds. Katayama held out his pocket watch as if to emphasize the point. That's ridiculous, Mirokawa exclaimed. Just who the heck do you think you are? You guys are going to be printing a paper that I wrote. Do you even know how lucky that makes you? So just wait, okay? Just give us until 8 o'clock. Just give us 3 days. Just give us till we're done. 8 o'clock. I'm not gonna say no 3 more days. Just give us until 8 o'clock. That was the original understanding. It was unfair to change it now. 8 o'clock. And where's your guarantee that you'll finish by then? We will. Just trust me. I'm supposed to heedlessly trust the word of a man I've just met? Katayama mused. We're down to 10 minutes and 46 seconds, by the way. You son of a gun! Don't get all high and mighty just because you work for the printer. High and mighty? I'd say it's the people on the publishing side of things that act high and mighty. Whatever high-minded claims you might make without us, you'd have nothing to put on the store shelves. Forgetting that and blatantly ignoring your proofing deadline makes for more work on our end. Just what are you getting at, I wonder? Now it's 10 minutes and 20 seconds. Mirokawa ground his teeth so hard he could hear it. His usual tactics were useless here. Katayama was simply too unflappable to be browbeaten. If he backed down now, though, it was game over. It was. 10 minutes and 7 seconds remaining. Realize there's little point, but I'll wait until the designated time. That's just common decency. Thus far, he has said that's just common decency 3 times in this story. Always make sure to show up 15 minutes ahead of the appointed time. I realize there's a little point, but I'll wait until the designated time. There was one more. Do you know when and where it was? Shoot, no. Katayama's eyes were once again locked on his pocket watch. It was no use. Mirokawa couldn't find a way to talk this guy around. Chaiki held her hand up. May I say something? Isn't it also common decency not to break a promise once it's been made? If you're referring to the 8 o'clock deadline, I was not the one who promised that. Maybe not, but I believe your predecessor's responsibilities become your responsibilities. Katayama crossed his arms and gave her a bemused look. What's your name, miss? Chaiki, she said bashfully. Chaiki Iso. The printer's expression brightened visibly. Good. That timid hesitation of yours is just splendid. You have none of the arrogance so typical among publishers. Huh? Chaiki was taken rather aback. In deference to your polite demeanor, I shall wait until 7 o'clock. That is the latest I can possibly allow. All right, Mirokawa shouted practically in Katayama's face. We agreed to those terms. No, I wasn't talking to you, but we've got terms of our own. Katayama reeled ever so slightly. I'm not certain you're in any position to set terms here. Just shut up and listen. From here on out, you're coming with us. What? Why? We're going to finish up our copy on site, then burn the data into a CD and hand it over to you there. That's why. Katayama let out a sigh of resignation. Oh, very well. I suppose I'd simply be waiting here anyway. Mirokawa pumped his fist in victory. All right, Chaiki. Go and copy the DTP data we've got so far onto your computer. Sure thing, Mr. Mino. Chaiki quickly set about copying the data from the editing department's desktop. Okay, done. Then let's go. With others in tow, Mirokawa headed for the noodle house where Toyama would be waiting. The sober restaurant Dogen Hut was roughly halfway up Dogenzaka. Inside, they encountered the proprietress near the door. She held a massive cleaver for cutting soba noodles and clutched in one hand. Toyama wasn't there. Uh-oh. Excuse me, Mirokawa said. Has a middle-aged man come by your shop? Name's Toyama. Oh, God. The proprietress let out a weary sigh. That guy, huh? You folks know him? Yes, that's right. Then I'm sorry. I didn't want to have to do this. It was all his fault, though. You reap what you sow. What? Mirokawa didn't know what she was going on about. But suddenly, he had a very bad feeling. So then, Toyama was here? He asked cautiously. Yes, he came by. Well, where is he now? Please tell me. No, I have no obligation to tell anything to friends of Toyama's. Evidently, there was some bad blood between Toyama and this woman. Oh God, what did we do? The real victim here is me. Her voice rose abruptly to a roar. Now listen up, good to this old woman's story. I don't have time for this, Minokawa thought. He needed to find Toyama as soon as possible. But instead, it looked like he'd be stuck hearing out this angry woman first. All right, we're listening. Tell us your story. It's a long one. The woman's mouth twisted up and she licked her lips, leaning in to tell her tale. Long, long ago, when I was still in my 20s, I would often make deliveries to Heaven Publishing. They were some of my best customers. Back then, we were so busy my employees practically worked themselves to death. You see, Dogen Hut had the finest soba in Japan. And our spokesmodel was considered one of the most beautiful girls in the world. Back when this woman was in her 20s, Heaven Publishing hadn't even existed yet. But Minokawa figured he'd better not correct her. That would probably just piss her off and make her stop entirely. Kept his mouth shut and listened to her silly tale. But anyway, that's all in the past now. As time went on, we had a lot of delivery customers asking us to put their bills on their tab. So much so that it became a problem and we changed our policy to disallow that sort of thing. Yeah, because it's like free food until they absolutely have to pay, and that'll hurt the business. But the fine folks of Heaven Publishing considered themselves an exception to that rule, and that put my part-timer Masa, who does the deliveries, in a bit of a bind. Yeah, okay. Oh, Masa is a student at Midoriyama Academy. First year student at Midoriyama Academy after getting indigestion from eating too much parfait at a fast food restaurant on Central Guy. He was there with his girlfriend to do a That was that couple that was there when Aichi and Hitomi did we took a pit stop to kind of go over what's been going on and stuff. Wow. After getting indigestion from eating too much parfait, he did a dry run for a competitive eating contest. He wound up going to the restroom 14 times in 1 hour. I know. All that dairy. Unable to stand idly by, his girlfriend called an acquaintance of hers, a gluttonous Chiriko Osuki, for advice on improving Masa's intestinal fortitude. Turned out, however, that Chiriko was planning to compete in the same contest. Knowing that they were up against some monumental competition, the two continued their training, wary of the battle to come. He took the day off to go on a date with his girlfriend. I hear they're planning to compete as a couple in some ice cream eating contest that's going to air on TV. So they were going to do a practice run together today. Honestly, how ridiculous is that? Honestly, I could care less about Masa one way or the other, Minokawa thought. This whole experience was turning into a real ordeal. So yes, we were in a real bind. I run a restaurant here, not a charity operation. I'd call and ask them to settle up, but they'd always insist, oh, we don't have any money. And that's a lie. It's got to be a lie. What else could it be? Otherwise, how would they keep making that magazine of theirs? That Celebrity Confidential or whatever the heck it is. Celebrity Confidential was a weekly tabloid put out by one of Heaven Publishing's competitors. Minokawa was just going to have to let that egregious mix-up slide. And that's not all. The proprietor spat. Oh no, on top of that, their little gourmet Gabs Corner or whatever they call it, ran a scathing review of us. Oh boy, did I mess up selecting this place. I hope I don't get a bad ending. After that, customers started keeping their distance, and I aged 20 years practically overnight. Gourmet Gabs was a column that ran in Celebrity Confidential. There was nothing of the sort in 4-Star General Gossip. This woman had clearly gotten the two magazines mixed up somehow. Awful. Just awful, isn't it? All I wanted to do was make sober for people to enjoy. And so to be treated like this, The woman had started to sob. The cleaver began to waver in her trembling hand. But then, earlier today, these two Yakuza-looking fellows came by and said they were looking for Toyama from Heaven Publishing. Guess they saw one of our menus at his office and figured he might have come by. She had to be talking about Ozu and Sagawa. They'd both been nearby when Minokawa was rooting through the desk drawers. They must have spied the menu then. Oh my God. I told them he wasn't here and he hadn't ordered delivery in some time, so they said that if I happened to see him, to give them a call. Now I was going to just turn them away. They looked like a pair of nasty loan sharks. Toyama would never be able to pay off his tab if they caught him, and so I told them as much. The proprietress lowered her voice before continuing, but they said they'd be most appreciative if I could let them know. He even offered to pay his tab for me if I did, and well, that pretty much settled it, so I let them give me their phone number. Minokawa's face went pale. This lady had been bribed by those two thugs? And so I guess you figured it out. Oh my God. I feel like it's a bad ending. A little earlier, Toyama dropped by looking like he was trying to lie low, so it all came together. I snuck out back, gave those two a call, so here we are. You guys were just a hair too late. Crap! Toyama had been carted off by the moneylenders. Minokawa had to find him right away. Mr. Mino, Chaiki squeaked nervously. We have to hurry and go look for him. Yeah. Minokawa and the others headed for the door. Wait. The voice sounded as if it had echoed up from the very depths of hell. Minokawa and the company stopped in their tracks. Oh my God. You think I can just let you go? The old woman began to stalk towards him. Those guys, they left without showing their appreciation of paying off the tab. They lied to me. And so just who's going to show me appreciation I'm owed? Who's going to pay the tab? You're all this together, you're trying to play me for a fool. But they'll have no fury like a woman scorned. Uh-oh, we're dead. Oh, there's the soundtrack. The proprietress lifted her cleaver high. Her eyes smoldered with inhuman rage. A murderous aura surrounded her like a bonfire wind. Wait, Minokawa cried. We're Toyama's, his friends? Then prepare yourselves. You repay his debt to me with your lives. The three companions stood paralyzed with horror, watching their bloody doom approach. The blade glimmered in the dim-mist as she swung it toward Minokawa. Time for some fresh meat. I would have kept going. Why would you stop? Minokawa, Chaiki, and Katayama screamed, their cries echoing clear across Dogenzaka. Oh my God. Tragedy at the Noodle House. It was no ordinary grudge that the proprietress of Dogen Hut held towards Toyama. Man, everybody's got a grudge against this guy. As Minokawa and others found out firsthand, falling victim to her mighty cleaver. Yeah, this isn't the right place to have the meetup with Toyama. Seriously? Who the heck decided this was a good idea? My stupid behind, that's who. So I guess it's best to just let him choose then? Alright guys, thanks for watching. My name is Raven from the Sky. If you enjoyed the episode, drop a like and subscribe to the channel and the series grow. Take care and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.